Jealousy is a strange feeling. It rarely shows up all at once. Instead, it starts small, like a quiet thought that someone else has something you wish you had. In today's video, we're taking a look at an episode of the Berenstain Bears that explores that feeling in a surprisingly clever way. The episode begins with Mama and Papa sitting on the front steps. They were sipping their drinks and enjoying a quiet moment together. Papa smiled and said it was nice to hear nothing at all, just peace and quiet. Suddenly, there's a loud noise. It's Sister. She's excited that her friend Lizzie is coming over. Just then, Mr. Bruin pulled up and said hello and explained he couldn't stay long because if he turned off his car, it might not start again. As he talks, his car starts to slowly roll down the hill. Papa points out that the car was actually running away. Mr. Bruin realized what was happening and had to chase after it. He told Lizzie he'd pick her up later. After watching Brother ride his bike, Lizzie suggests an idea. She says maybe when Brother is done riding, Sister could borrow his bike and Lizzie could ride hers. But Sister quickly shakes her head. She explains that Brother doesn't let anyone touch his bike, not even her. And this small moment is important because right here, the episode quietly starts setting up its main theme, jealousy. Think about what just happened. Brother has a bike that he won't let anyone else ride, not even his own sister. That tells us two things. First, the bike is very important to him. And second, Sister knows she isn't allowed to touch it. That already creates a small feeling of unfairness. Lizzie's suggestion also matters because she assumes sharing the bike should be normal, but Sister quickly shuts the idea down. She already knows Brother won't let that happen.
Listen.
I don't hear anything.
Exactly. Just peace and quiet.
Yippee!
Huh?
Yay! Lizzie's coming!
Lizzie?
Her papa's giving her a ride. Sister! Lizzie!
Hello. Sorry I can't stay. If I turn my car off, it might not start again. It's been running a little rough lately.
Your car is running, Mr. Bruin.
You're right. I guess I should be happy it's running at all.
No, Mr. Bruin, he means it's running away.
What? Oh no, not again! Gotta go! I'll pick you up later, Lizzie!
Okay, bye, Dad. Maybe after Brother's finished riding his bike, you could borrow it and I could ride your bike. Probably not. Brother doesn't let anyone touch his bike. Not even me.
Brother is riding his bike around the yard when suddenly it begins to wobble and he falls off. Papa catches him and suggests they raise the seat a little more to make it fit better. Brother explains that they've already raised it twice and he reminds him when he said it couldn't go any higher. Papa realizes that Brother has simply outgrown the bike. Brother asks if that means it's time for a new one. Mama says she needs to pick up a few things anyway, so they could stop by the bicycle shop on the way. Lizzie hears everything and gets excited. She points out that if Brother gets a new bike, Sister will get his old one as a hand-me-down. Then Lizzie says that means she could ride Sister's old bike. Sister gets excited and asks Papa if she can ride the bike right now, but Papa says he first needs to adjust the seat and handlebars to make it the right size for her. Safety comes first. Sister asks how long it will take. Papa says it'll take no time at all, then immediately starts wondering where he put his bike wrench. That's when Sister looks over at Lizzie and says this might take a while. This scene is actually really smart because it shows how jealousy doesn't explode out of nowhere. It starts small and builds quickly. Everyone is excited about Brother's new bike. Even Lizzie is happy because it means she'll eventually get to use Sister's old bike. The hand-me-down rule seems simple enough. When the older kid outgrows something, the younger kid gets it. In theory, it sounds fair. Nothing gets wasted and everyone eventually benefits. It's a very practical family system. But in the moment, the rule doesn't feel fair. Right now, Brother is the one getting something brand new. Sister, on the other hand, isn't getting anything yet. She's stuck in the middle phase where the rule hasn't paid off for her. Papa focuses on safety, which is good parenting. He doesn't rush the adjustment just to satisfy Sister's excitement, but Sister's asking him how long it'll take shows she's already getting impatient.
Whoa!
Ah, looks like we need to raise that seat a little.
We've already done that, Papa. Twice. Last time you said it wouldn't go up anymore.
That's right, I did. I guess you've just outgrown it.
Time for a new one?
I have to pick up a few things, so I suppose we could drop by the bicycle shop on the way.
Yay!
Hear that? Sounds like Brother's going to get a new bike. And you know what that means? The I get it after you get too big for it rule. Brother gets a new bike and I get brother's old bike. Then I can ride your old bike. Yay! I get brother's old bike, right, Papa? So can I ride it now?
First, I have to adjust this seat and the handlebars to make them sister size. Safety first.
How long will that take, Papa?
No time at all. Huh? Now, where did I put that bike wrench?
This may take a while.
Right after Papa finishes adjusting the bike, Sister is actually happy. She thanks him, and for a brief moment, everything is fine. She's excited about finally being able to ride it, but then that feeling gets interrupted almost instantly. Brother and Mama pull up with the brand new bike, and the energy of the scene completely shifts. The attention moves away from Sister and straight onto Brother and his shiny new ride. It's bigger, flashier, and immediately more exciting than what Sister just got. And you can see the change happen in real time. Sister doesn't ease into jealousy. It hits her almost immediately. She asks if she can ride a new bike, already reaching for something that isn't hers. That quick switch is important because it shows how fragile that initial happiness was. It only took one comparison to take it away. Mama notices what's happening right away and steps in before things escalate. Instead of letting Sister stand there and spiral, she takes her inside to make lemonade. That might seem like a small parenting moment, but it's actually really intentional. By removing Sister from the situation, Mama is trying to create a little distance between her and the source of her jealousy. Because when you're constantly looking at the thing you want, that feeling only gets stronger. Taking her inside, it gives her a chance to cool off, even if it doesn't fully work.
What do you want to play now? I think we've played everything.
Told you it would only take a minute. As soon as I found my wrench.
Thanks, Papa.
That certainly looks sporty.
It's beautiful. I want to ride it. Can I please? Please, can I?
Hey, it's my bike.
Hold on now, sister.
You know, I think this might be a good time to make some lemonade.
But...
Be back in a jiffy, Lizzie.
Now in the kitchen, Sister notices Brother riding his bike through the kitchen window. Mama notices the look on Sister's face and points out that she has "I gotta have it" look in her eyes. Sister tries to play it off at first, laughing and apologizing, but Mama doesn't let the moment slide. She reminds Sister that just a little while ago, she was excited about getting Brother's old bike, and Sister admits that the old bike is fine, but Brother's new bike is the most beautiful bike she's ever seen. That's when Mama introduces the idea of the green-eyed monster. She explains it in a very simple way. When you start wishing you had something that belongs to someone else, the green-eyed monster shows up and starts whispering in your ear, telling you gotta have it. It's a really clever way of explaining jealousy to a kid because it turns the emotion into something external, almost like a little creature influencing your thoughts. Sister even says she understands, but then immediately admits that the bike is just so beautiful, and that's the key moment. She knows what's happening, but the feeling is still there. That's actually a really honest way to portray jealousy. Understanding the emotion doesn't automatically make it disappear. So even though Mama explains the green-eyed monster, you can tell Sister is still struggling with it. The temptation hasn't gone away. If anything, the more she watches Brother ride that shiny new bike around the yard, the louder that little voice in her head is getting.
Looks to me like you have that "I gotta have it" look in your eyes.
Oops. Sorry, Mama.
When Brother and I left, you were all excited about getting his old bike.
His old bike's okay, but his new bike is the most beautiful bike I've ever seen.
If I'm not mistaken, I'd say you've been taken over by the green-eyed monster.
The green-eyed monster? What's that?
When you wish you had something that belongs to someone else, the green-eyed monster pops up and keeps telling you gotta have it. Understand?
Yes, but Mama, it's such a beautiful bike.
Oh,
Lizzie actually tries to calm the situation down. She tells Sister that Brother's new bike is nice, but she likes Sister's bike too. It's a small attempt to reassure her, but Sister immediately starts listing all the things her bike doesn't have, which shows us when someone is clouded by jealousy. It becomes really easy to focus on everything you're missing, since you're comparing what you don't have versus what the person has. Lizzie then says something that is technically true but emotionally unhelpful. She points out that in 5 or 6 years, Brother's new bike will eventually be Sister's, and that's the problem. 5 or 6 years is basically forever forever when you're a kid. To an adult, that's just part of the normal cycle of growing up. But to sister, it sounds like she's being told she has to wait an eternity, while brother gets to enjoy the shiny new thing right now. Then Lizzie leaves, and the situation immediately gets worse. Without that distraction, sister's attention goes right back to the bike. She insists that it's her turn, and brother pushes back, telling her she doesn't get a turn at all. The disagreement quickly turns into a physical struggle as sister tries to grab the bike. Mama and Papa step in before it goes too far. Papa explains the practical reason sister can't ride the bike yet. It's simply too big for her. She wouldn't even be able to reach the pedals. From an adult perspective, that's a completely reasonable explanation, but logic isn't really the issue here. Papa then asks what's wrong with her own bike, and that's when sister finally says what she's been feeling the whole time. She says it's not fair. That line is really the emotional core of the scene, because jealousy often disguises itself as a fairness problem. Sister isn't just saying she wants the bike, she's framing it as something unjust happening to her. In her mind, brother getting the new bike means she's somehow losing out, and that's exactly how jealousy works. It takes a normal situation, one kid outgrowing a bike, and twists it into something that feels unfair.
Brother's new bike is really nice, but I like your bike too. But it doesn't have 3 gears or a handbrake or super sport wheels. Well, in 5 or 6 years, Brother's new bike will be yours. Oh, there's my papa. Gotta go. Bye.
Come on, Lizzie. You have to hurry if we're gonna make it to the library.
You know, Mr. Bruin, I'd be glad to help adjust a few things.
Thanks, but I wouldn't know where to start.
Well, personally, I'd start with a new car.
I'll keep your suggestion in mind, Mr. Bear.
But it's my turn.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You don't get a turn.
Speaking of turns,
I know. Now, hold on a minute. Sister, there's no point in wanting to ride this bike. It's too big for you. You wouldn't even be able to reach the pedals. Now, what's wrong with this bike? Sister?
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
The episode does something really interesting. Instead of continuing the argument during the day, the story shifts into sister's dream. It's currently nighttime. She's lying in bed, trying to sleep while still thinking about what happened earlier. And even in her sleep, she repeats how it still wasn't fair brother got a new bike. That alone shows how much the situation is still bothering her. The feeling didn't disappear when the argument ended. It followed her all the way to bed. Then, the green-eyed monster actually appears. What's clever here is that the monster doesn't show up to scare her or correct her. Instead, it does the opposite. The monster immediately agrees with sister. It tells her she's absolutely right, that it isn't fair that brother gets a beautiful new bike while she only gets an old hand-me-down. And that's exactly how jealousy works in real life. When people are jealous, the voice in their head doesn't challenge the feeling. It reinforces it. It keeps repeating the same idea over and over. You deserve that. You should have that. It isn't fair. The monster even pushes the idea further by telling sister she deserves a bike just like brothers. And then it gives her a plan. If she can prove she's big enough to ride it, then maybe she should have it. That moment is important because the monster isn't forcing sister to do anything. It's just nudging her thoughts in a certain direction. It plants the idea and lets her run with it. When sister wakes up, she tries to brush it off by saying it must have been a dream, but the idea is already stuck in her mind. So even if the monster was imaginary, the influence it has on her is still real.
Not fair. Not fair. Huh? Hi. Wait a minute. I know who you are. You're the green-eyed monster. Good guess. I knew you were smart. Come on. There's something I want you to see. You know, you're absolutely right. It's not fair that brother gets a beautiful new bike, and all I get is an old hand-me-down. Exactly. That's why you deserve a bike, just like brothers. All you have to do is prove you're big enough to ride it. Go ahead, prove it. It must have been a dream. Dream or not, I'm going to prove I can ride that bike.
The next morning, while the family is getting ready for breakfast, sister sneaks outside and stares at brother's new bike again. She tries to convince herself that Papa was wrong, that the bike really isn't that big, and right on cue, the green-eyed monster appears again. Notice what the monster does here. It doesn't force sister to do anything. It simply encourages the thought she already wants to believe. It tells her the bike isn't too big, and even suggests a way for her to get on it. In other words, it helps her justify doing something she already knows she probably shouldn't do. For a moment, it works. Sister manages to climb onto the bike and even celebrates for a second, saying she knew the bike wasn't too big for her. But the victory only lasts a few seconds before reality hits. She can't reach the pedals, and worse, she can't stop the bike. Suddenly, the scene shifts from funny to genuinely tense. Sister is racing downhill, panicking and yelling that she can't stop. Inside the house, the family realizes she's missing and rushes outside. And interestingly, it's brother who helps save the situation. While Papa runs after them, brother calmly tells sister exactly what to do. He tells her to squeeze the handbrake slowly. This is an important moment because it shows that despite the jealousy earlier, brother still cares about his sister and helps her when it matters. Eventually, Papa catches up before anything worse can happen. But what's really important is what happens next. Sister immediately admits what she did. She explains the dream about the green-eyed monster and apologizes to brother for almost wrecking his new bike. She doesn't try to blame anyone else. She takes responsibility for the mistake. Brother's response is surprisingly mature. Instead of getting angry, he admits that he would probably feel jealous too if the situation were reversed. That moment is powerful because it replaces punishment with empathy. Finally, sister reflects on the lesson herself. She admits that wanting something that belongs to someone else isn't a nice feeling and that she doesn't like it. That's the real resolution of the episode. The story isn't just about bikes. It's about recognizing jealousy, understanding where it comes from, and realizing that it doesn't actually make you feel better. And then brother ends the moment on a positive note. He says he has an idea about sister's sort of new bike. It's a great way to close the loop. Instead of ending with guilt or punishment, the episode shifts toward cooperation and making the best out of what sister already has.
I don't know what Papa means. This bike isn't so big. Well, maybe it's a little bit. No, it's not. Just climb up on the steps and get on that way. Go ahead. Do it. I did it! I knew this bike wasn't too big for me. Uh-oh.
I can't find sister anywhere, Papa.
Me neither.
I can't stop!
We found sister, Mama.
Go, brother. Go!
Okay, you're doing great. Now squeeze the handbrake nice and slow.
Thanks, brother.
It goes pretty fast, huh?
Ah, there we go. It's okay.
Oh, Papa, I almost crashed Brother's new bike.
Never mind the bike. What about you?
I had a dream that the green-eyed monster told me I was big enough to ride Brother's bike. So I tried, but my feet wouldn't touch the pedals. I almost wrecked your bike. I'm sorry, brother.
It's okay. It is a great bike. I'd be jealous too.
Now I know that wanting something that belongs to someone else isn't a nice feeling. I sure don't like it. I'm happy you got a new bike. And I got a new bike too. Well, sort of new.
Hey, I have an idea about your sort of new bike.
Brother's idea ends up being simple but really meaningful. Instead of focusing on what sister's bike doesn't have, they work together to make it special. They decorate and customize it, and suddenly the old hand-me-down starts to feel like something new again. And that shift is important because earlier in the episode, sister could only see the differences between her bike and brother's, and all she could think about were the missing features. But once they start decorating the bike, the focus changes from comparison to creativity. Instead of wanting what brother has, sister starts appreciating what she has. Brother even jokes that maybe he wants his old bike back now that it looks so good. Sister immediately shuts that down and tells him to send the green-eyed monster away. It's a funny moment, but it also shows how much she's grown since the beginning of the episode. Now she recognizes the same jealous feeling in someone else. Mama then delivers the real lesson of the story. She explains that you can't always stop the green-eyed monster from knocking because jealousy is a normal feeling and it happens to everyone. But the important part is that you don't have to let it inside. Instead, you can choose to be happy for someone else when they get something nice. And then the episode ends with a really clever little joke. Mr. Bruin pulls up with a brand new car and suddenly Papa is the one staring at it with that familiar "I gotta have it" look. Sister notices it immediately and warns him to watch out for the green-eyed monster. For a second, it looks like Papa might fall for it. He starts listing all the fancy features, but then he catches himself. Instead of letting jealousy take over, he congratulates Mr. Bruin and decides he'll just wash and shine up their old car. It's a great ending because it shows the lesson applying to adults too, because jealousy isn't just a kid problem, it's something everyone deals with.
Maybe I want my old bike back. It looks pretty good.
No way. You just tell that green-eyed monster to go away.
Sister's right. You sometimes can't help it when that old green-eyed monster comes knocking. But you don't have to let it in. Instead, just be happy for the person who got something nice.
Hi, I took your advice. What do you think?
That's the most beautiful car I've ever seen.
Uh-oh, Mama. Look at Papa. I think he's got that "I gotta have it" look.
Wire wheels, leather seats, racing stripe.
Papa, I think you better watch out for you-know-who.
Nice looking car, Mr. Bruin. Congratulations.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Is the green-eyed monster still knocking, Papa?
Yep. But I'm not going to let him in. Maybe I'll give our old car a wash and shine it up a bit.
Good idea.
On the surface, it's just a story about kids arguing over a bike, but underneath, it's really about something everyone deals with at some point. The episode shows that the green-eyed monster doesn't just appear for kids. It can show up for pretty much anyone. The important part isn't pretending the feeling doesn't exist. It's recognizing it before it takes control. And by the end, Sister learns that wanting what someone else has doesn't actually make her happier. What does make her happier is appreciating what she already has. And honestly, that's a lesson a lot of grown-ups could probably use too.